सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual some. Hello, welcome to another Bare Knuckle Bhakti Monday. So, topic of the week is this: service. And I'm going to say it loud. Man, service. I don't think anybody really, I don't think a lot of people really understand the importance of service. If no one knows what I'm talking about, first of all, in the 12-step tradition, you know, we surrender, we clean house, and we help others. That's kind of like then like on autoplay. In the Bhakti tradition, we also are the servant of the servant of the servant. Why? Why this? Well, let's talk about it from the 12-step point of view. First of all, we can do this, okay? We give so freely as to what has been given so freely to us. But second of all, and really important, is to know that service gets us out of our own self-hate, self-thought, self, me. It takes us out of the me. You know, a lot of people don't know what to do with themselves. Thinking, doing, what do I do today? Take that I don't know what to do today. Don't tell me that anyone here doesn't have a day where they're like, I don't know what to do today. Or they have like some sort of free time on their hands. And how many of those times do we use for doing selfish things? I mean, addicts like myself, like everyone who's an addict, an alcoholic, a codependent, an ACA, anyone with trauma, we are freaking absorbed. We need to get out of that. And a really good tool is to serve another purpose besides ourself. And yes, we have to get ourselves right before we can serve, but not really. If you want to just chair a meeting, all you got to do is, you know, when I first came into NA, I remember one of the very first meetings that I went to, they were like, are you 24 hours clean? I'm like, yeah. They're like, okay, you're chairing the meeting. I'm like, what? But that's how it goes. Learn quick. Service will keep us clean. Service will keep others clean. This is so important. And I think so many people are afraid to do service or whatever it is. They're either lazy, afraid, or they haven't sunk in far enough to know how freaking important that is. And it's like the key. I'm saying this with like a lot of energy because actually I'm a little bit aggro about it because it's one of the more simplest, simplest ways to connect to others and do something for others. And while we're doing that, we do something for ourselves because we get out of ourselves. Suddenly, it's not just about me. It's about serving the group, holding a space for people to come and to recover. Suddenly, my problems aren't so huge anymore, and I don't have to like, you know, mow them over for the 100,000th time in my head. I can think about how my fellow is doing instead of myself. And some of you will say, well, it's always been about other people and I'm codependent. I have that voice in my head. But if we look very carefully at that, Codependency is selfish. For me, it's that way. Codependency is a very selfish thing. It's manipulative, and it's not just being codependent that I'm I'm a victim. Codependency doesn't look like everyone thinks it does by just saying, oh, okay, I'll do everything that everyone else wants to say. That's only one facet of codependency. The other facets of codependency are manipulation through pouting, through passive aggressive behaviors, through lack of boundaries. And lack of boundaries does not only hurt yourself, it hurts others around you. Because if you don't set clear boundaries, you're going to get angry, and everyone's not going to know what they're going to do around you. And it becomes a huge mess. Codependency is not a joke. That can mess up your whole life. It has. It's messed up my whole life for a lot of years. I might not be talking strict program now with a lot of we's and you's and I's and whatever. But I'm a little bit emotional at the moment, as you hear, a little heated, because it's such an important aspect of recovery. It is like it's when you ask somebody to sponsor you and you ask somebody to help you with something, you're essentially saying, I like what you have in your recovery, so I want to do what you're doing in order to get there. It's not a process by your own design. If you don't want to do what your sponsor suggests or has done in order to get to where they're at, then don't ask them to be your sponsor. I mean, of course, we can have our self-opinion. We can have, disagreements or things that you don't see eye to eye on. That's perfectly normal. But when a sponsor tells you, this is how I got sober, this is how I got clean, I went to meetings, I helped others, and I did service, and I cleaned house. I went to meetings, I helped others, I did service, and I cleaned house. This is so important. This is the structure of recovery. And nobody who wants to work a 12-step program is going to get the benefits of that if they don't follow these suggestions. There's a reason why this program is 100 years old and going strong and getting stronger every single day, because it works. Not because we, picked and pecked at the little things that we wanted, and the little things, we do it at the beginning. It's hard to digest everything. You have your 1 year of, a few years, the beginning of saying, I don't know. Some of us had that. I didn't, because I was so desperate, but some people do. And that's okay. But at least having faith and seeing how much this program has worked and helped in other people's lives, that should be enough. That's faith. That's faith in action, brothers and sisters. That is faith in action. That is exactly what we, holy shit, what is that? Oh, there's a cat in a tree. Sorry. ADHD. I thought it was a monkey. I'm in Germany, so that was there's a cat like in a really high up tree. Oh my God. Anyway, sorry. Oh my God, where was I now? Right. So what I do remember is this. I was talking to somebody. Actually, we were doing this interview with Leslie the other day. If anyone hasn't checked that out. And Leslie brought up that Leela of the sparrow and having, the ocean taking the eggs away, and the sparrow demanding the ocean to give her eggs back because those are her babies. The ocean refused. As often when we make demands of life, it refuses. So the sparrow in this story, the sparrow vows that I will take the ocean. I will empty you until I get my eggs back. And that one little sparrow, beak full by beakful, took the beakful by beakful, took the waters of the ocean and tried to empty the ocean. And I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Vishnu himself, but was it? I don't remember. With a G. Sorry, guys. Not a Vedic scholar here. Heard about this. This god heard about this demigod, I think, heard about it and came to the assistance of this sparrow. And the story goes on, but the moral of this story is if we are determined, we can chip and chip and chip and chip away and get something done. And the only way for me, as far as my experience goes, the only way that I have been determined to do something, first of all, in the very, I would say the very beginner's state of mind is being beaten into submission and willing to do anything. That's a very fortunate place to be, because you just, you do all of these things. I was very, very tenacious. Is that a word? Yeah, it is. I was very, very much determined to stay in recovery because my life depended on it. Literally, my life depended on it. I don't think my body could have taken another overdose. I don't think my body could spend another year on the streets. Death was very close, and actually it was very welcomed at that time, because I was actually more scared of living like that forever instead of dying. That would have been easier. But that kind of being, that kind of desperation kept me holding on, kept me flying back and forth to that ocean. No questions asked. And doing that, I learned a lot of lessons. And it's taken me 20 years to learn, actually almost even like 25. I'm just learning the last few years. I'm just learning that I don't have to be in that desperate position in order to evolve. And, this has been a huge awakening for me. So in that steadiness, the sparrow wasn't asking herself, oh, I'm tired, or I don't want to do this, or this is senseless, or this was faith. This was work. This was determination. And the fruits of her labor were rewarded by God. Right? The fruits of her labor was rewarded. And the thing is, anyone would think like, there's no way you're going to be able to empty an ocean with your little sparrow beak. No chance. No chance. And almost I felt that way in recovery. There's no chance for me to get clean. There's no freaking chance at all. None. I have no chance. I've tried this 100 million times. I've been to 100 rehabs. I've done this. I've done that. There's no way that I'm going to get clean. It's going to be a failure again. And I was scared. I was so scared. So scared that I would fail again and fail again. But my freaking life depended on it. And so I just did it. And I didn't do it. I did it with a whole nother attitude. That attitude was turned very quickly into gratitude. That I'm even allowed to chair a meeting. That I'm even allowed to come and have a key to a place to chair a meeting. That people trust me making their coffee before a meeting. God, what a privilege. And if that's not in the foreground of my recovery, for me, I don't know where I would be. Just like anything, it's like I talk a lot about, God is all the same, religions are all the same, and I talk about that. And on one side, I do mean that the essence are all the same. But on the other hand, when there's a lot of empowerment in picking one. And this correlates with the 12 steps. What I'm telling you is this: if we are willing to follow direction, if we want the result that others have had, then we follow the lead. We follow the lead of what has that person done in order to get to that result. They did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G and see if it works for me. So as much as I say, like, yeah, okay, you know, all religions are the same, I'm not saying don't pick one. I mean, unless you don't want to, that doesn't matter either. But if we are to evolve in a specific lineage of a spiritual path, if we want the benefits of that, we will, in all probability, we are going to need to do almost every little thing that they've done in order to get that. So I've picked a 12-step program, and I've picked Bhakti Yoga. And, you know, with Bhakti, I've had my challenges. With the 12-step program, I actually never really had any problem with any of the steps. None. Actually, that's not true. The 11th step was difficult for me, approaching that, and that is sought through prayer meditation to improve our conscious contact with God, because I couldn't bring only for knowledge of his will for us and power to carry that out. But it was very difficult for me for the meditation part. So what I did was, at the beginning, I just, you know, I did my, you know, sort of my version of meditation and talked to my sponsor about it, you know. So, you know, either we grow into these things and we have the determination of that sparrow to do little by little and not get the results and not be attached to the damn results, because the results are not up to us. We can only do the footwork. We leave the fruits of our labor up to our higher power. It's just that easy. And you know what? It makes my life so much easier not being attached to those results. Who wants to be attached to the freaking results? It's like freaking control freak in hyper mode. I hate being attached to the results of my labors. It sucks. It sucks. It's prison, because where did it start and where does it end? It doesn't freaking end. All of a sudden, you know, I'm doing this and I want that. I mean, there are certain things that are just basic math and basic physics. You know, if I clean, it's going to be clean, right? I mean, those are the basic things. If I clean house, my house is going to be clean. But if I'm like praying for a job or praying for a certain result, all I can do is write the applications and send them out to the best of my ability, thoroughly, like that sparrow. And if God wants to come and help me, then God will come and help me. If not, then not. But that's something that's not my freaking business. I give it over. It's not my business. The results aren't my business. And it is relief. It's a relief. Man, try it. So that was my rant today. Actually, I've been ranting, haven't I? Damn, it's been 18 minutes of rant. Well, I hope this helps somebody, or just inspired somebody, you know. Service, 12-step work, showing up in a meeting, being brave, chairing that meeting. I also heard that we at the Bhakti Recovery Group, we had like a group conscious meeting the other day, and Amrita Kelly, she chairs the women's meeting, and Namamrita, I don't remember who said it, one or the other. Namamrita chairs the men's meeting, the in-person meetings, the in-person BRG meetings, and they said, if you can read, you can lead. And I love that. If you can read, you can lead. Yes, that's the attitude. That's the attitude. So here is my experience, strength, and hope. When I've done the work, which is suggested to me in a 12-step program, and when I have done it honestly and determiningly, my recovery will get better. I am a result of that. I am a living miracle. We are all living miracles. I died 18 times. I have had 18 overdoses in my life. I have done a world tour of emergency rooms in Europe, America, and I flatlined twice. I mean, come on, guys. And I'm here ranting. If that's not a miracle, I really don't know what is. And there's millions of others just like me out there. I'm not special. But I'm living proof that this program works. And I'm living proof that bhakti also deepens any understanding that I have of the God of my understanding. So I'm going to end it now. I'm going to end this session. Love you guys. Love all of you. And looking forward to the next Monday. Be Knuckle Bhakti. Bye. Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.